Peace. This is your brother Jamaal Brown, aka Mr. Black365, founder and creator of the Black365 Calendar, as well as a number of other Black history products. People call me Mr. Black365 again because every day I teach Black history. I attempt to read, research, understand, manifest, and again ultimately teach Black history. I'm also the trademark owner of the term Black365 as well, something that I'm proud of. Again, we have a whole number of products that, again, attempt to inspire, uplift, and encourage people through the use of Black history. Just this quarter, we'll be coming out with 3 more new products. The 12th edition of our Black History Calendar, another pack of Black History cards. Here we have African-American icons, Black History icons from A to Z. Here we have the Conscious Quotations edition, again, blackhistorycards.com or black365.com. We're coming out with an African-American Athletes edition, as well as an African-Americans in STEM edition, along with our 12th annual Black365 Calendar. Additionally, we have a live action event known as the Black365 Knowledge Bowl. It's a Jeopardy style quiz competition where teams of students earn scholarship monies and trophies and prizes and medals and awards by answering a series of Black history questions. So yeah, that is who we are. That is what I do. I'm a keynote speaker. A number of organizations bring me out to speak, campuses, BSUs, home schools. We're writing a curriculum right now for Black history as well. But today, we are not talking about that. We are talking about Beyonce's Black is King. Again, being Mr. Black365, I don't do much by way of entertainment, don't watch much television, haven't had cable in a number of years. I do have a Netflix subscription and what have you. My fiance has a Disney Plus, and so she was all excited. I got home the other night about midnight, ready to hit the sheets, and she was like, no, you got to watch Black is King. I was kind of over it, but once it came on, and after about 5 minutes, I knew that something was different about this. Something was amiss. Something was awry. This wasn't entertainment for entertainment's sake. Beyonce truly put on a master class with this piece. It's not just entertainment. We got art, history, culture, connections between the continent and the United States. I've heard and read just a little bit. I didn't want to taint this review of the piece. I haven't read much, but I've read a little bit. Some folks had some disparaging things to say. Some folks had some ignorant things to say. But I mean, just on a pure basic level, if you can get your husband paid, your children paid with some Disney money, bring in some of the top upcoming artists from Africa, connect them with people like Pharrell and Kendrick, Lamar. So connecting, again, the continent plus the United States, all while getting some folks paid. Thousands of hours, I'm convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that thousands of hours were spent in the development. It was shot largely in Africa, so the economic footprint that was established through this presentation, truly something to behold. But again, I'm not getting caught up with all the superfluous stuff, all the side stuff. There was some truly deep Black history stuff, some African history stuff, some spirituality going on with this presentation given to us by Beyonce. No more of you just listening to me. We're going to get into some visuals. Again, huge spoiler alert. If you have not seen it, you are going to get revealed to you through this presentation quite a bit of information. Let's get our screen situated here. All right. Black is King, truly powerful piece. Again, we're going to break down some scenes. I encourage you to watch and rewatch this piece, like, share, subscribe this piece. Additionally, if you have already watched the piece, again, I encourage you to rewatch it. You might want to watch it while watching this review so you can break down some of the pieces. Beyonce, we see her at a number of different aspects, a number of different manifestations in this piece. We see Beyonce as a goddess or an ancestor. We see her as the goddess Hathor or Het Heru. We see her here with the horns and the sun disk behind her head. Again, this is an image of Het Heru in ancient Egypt, a goddess with the horns of a cow with the sun disk there. Again, we see the sun disk there. Also, we see her Het Heru or Hathor shown as a cow. So despite the fact that she's riding a horse, the horse has a cow pattern. There's cows in the background. Hathor has a vengeful piece to her when her children or loved ones are interrupted or endangered. But additionally, she's known as having motherly qualities. The moon emanates no light. However, the moon reflects light. And so we see the sun here behind the head, and the horns, again, represent the crescent. And so, again, she represents nighttime, and she represents femininity and what have you. Beyonce, again, I don't want the bees to come after me, the beehive to come after me, what have you, but I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of any artist. I'll just say that. Just keep it on the safe side. I don't indulge in too much entertainment for entertainment's sake, but I have to give it up to her without a shadow of a doubt in this piece. While others were working on their TikTok dances, while others were working on being savages, I think it was last summer, was Hot Girl Summer, Beyonce was in the lab with a pen and a pad, was in the lab with books. Here we see her with a book in the film. It went by real fast, but without a doubt, this book is in the Black is King, a book called Black Gods and Kings. Let's take a look inside this book. You have gods and goddesses, you have African history, culture, art, music put on display inside this book from north, south, east, and west. The totality of the continent of Africa is on display in this book. You see some Kemetic imagery and iconography, as well as some West African, Nigerian, Orishas. Here we have art from Benin. You have Ifa, thoroughly represented in this book. So again, she was in the books. We look up to these artists for what they provide to us in terms of entertainment, but I say take the aspects of an artist that you can use. Take the fact that she, as beyond a shadow of a doubt, been in the book, consulting with folks and increasing her knowledge, history, information, culture, and again, has put it on display. I encourage all of us to do that as well. We see further, right now, again, we're just going over some brief overviews. We're gonna hit all these things real deep. We see Beyonce as an Orisha. We've seen her as an ancestor. We've seen her as Het Heru or Hathor. We see her as an Orisha Oshun. Oshun is a goddess or an entity, a deity, if you will, a helper of a deity. That's what Orishas are, manifestations of the supreme deity. Similarly, if we want to put it in the paradigm of Christianity, somewhat like an angel. Again, you have angels of mercy, angels of death, helper angels, or what have you. Orishas, again, are manifestations of the ultimate creator, the supreme divine creator. And Beyonce has shown us time and time again that she has Oshun energy. She literally says that as one of the verses in one of her songs, has that Oshun energy. And it's not the first time. We see her as Oshun here in Black is King, but also, I believe it was one of the award shows, or she performed as Oshun. Here on the left is an image of Oshun with the yellow and the headdress and the beads. Here we have Beyonce with the yellow and the headdress and the beads. Here we have Beyonce with the headdress. There's so much I can get into with that. I'm not going to hit it too hard, but understand we see her as the Orisha Oshun throughout this piece. She literally tells you, again, I don't want y'all to think that I'm reaching. I'm doing nothing but teaching facts that can be verified, documented, backed up. Again, she's the Orisha. She says this. She says, the Orishas hold your hand through this journey. This is one of the closing scenes of Black is King. We're going to revisit that. But here we go. Let's go deep here. So this is one of the opening images. Upon seeing this image, immediately my mind went to a number of creation stories that I'm aware of. In Kemet, there's a creation story where the ancient Egyptians say that we come from the valley, we come from the foothill of the mountain of the moon where the god Happy dwells. So we emanated from the foothills of the mountain of the moon where the god Happy dwells. Again, there's water. The god Happy is the Nile River. So they tell us that we didn't come from Egypt. Ancient Egyptians didn't come from Egypt. They came from the interior of Egypt, where the beginning of the Blue Nile and White Nile come together down near Uganda and Tanzania. We came up from there where there was a mountain. And so immediately that image sort of came to mind when I see the water and I see the mountain behind her. In Ifa as well, there is a story of the supreme creator, again, dwelling upon the waters and dropping some dirt inside of the waters, and the mountain springs forth and light springs forth, what have you. Again, not going to go too deep on that, but then just understand when I saw these images, immediately that sort of came to mind. But still, I'm not thinking this is too deep. When my fiance was all excited, she watched it a number of times, telling me how good it was. But I'm like, it's just something for entertainment. Here, we're about to start getting heavy right now. Understand, with this opening image, Beyonce is not Beyonce. Beyonce is not a mother to this child. Beyonce and this child and everyone you see in this opening image are in the macro room of the universe known as heaven. They are in heaven. They are in a different space. They are, without a doubt, 100%, I'm convinced, in heaven. A lot of the language in this piece talks about being born celestial, talk about stars and what have you. These people are leading the children through a processional. Right before this image, you've seen some elders saging or providing incense and perfumes for the children. And as they move forward, look over her right shoulder on the left side of the image. Initially, she passes an older man and a younger man swinging incense instruments. This sister right here offering smell goods and fragrances for the children. These women are preparing the babies, cleansing them before they traverse the universe, before they come from the macro womb of the universe through the wombs of their mothers to this place. They're giving them affirmations, telling them stories, giving them guides and guidelines on how to manifest greatness. And you know the excellent rise, or some of the language that's being told here. Again, there's a processional. These women are leading a processional with flowers. You have the incense, you have the fragrances, they have the cleansing by these ancestors or these angels, if you will, providing the children with instruction, encouraging them. You just don't know it yet. You just don't know it yet. Again, she's offering wise words, wisdom in heaven before this child leaves one realm and comes to this realm known as Earth. You don't believe me? Just watch. Don't believe me? Just watch. Here we go. A journey is a gift. Again, giving him information. Now it's dark. There's always darkness before the light. It's always dark before there's a transition. There's always there's always a transition from dark to light, and many motifs that we are aware of. And then I saw this, and I knew for sure that we were in for a treat. I knew that something was amiss, something was afoot, this wasn't business as usual. This was not just simply a music video. What I see here, without a shadow of a doubt, are the Dogon people. The Dogon people are individuals. They're a nation. I'm not going to say tribe. They're a nation in Mali, West Africa, of tremendous repute. The Dogon people were perhaps some of the greatest astronomers that this planet have ever seen. The Dogon people, D-G-O-N, D-O-G-O-N, Dogon people of Mali, West Africa, are amazing people. There's a binary star system called Sirius A and Sirius B. The Dogon people, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, talked about, built their homes and cities, painted on their faces, danced the orbit of Sirius B. Why is that important? Why is that something phenomenal? Sirius B is what's known as a dark star. Sirius B is undetectable by the human eye. You cannot see Sirius B without sophisticated instrumentation. However, the Dogon people talked about, wrote about, danced, built their culture, their society, based on astrological findings. One of those being Sirius B. Sirius Satellite Radio, this is just an aside. Someone has wanted to tell me, Sirius Satellite Radio, we all know it, we might have it, XM Radio, what have you, Sirius Satellite Radio. Their logo is a dog, D-O-G, again, Dogon people, and that dog has a star in its eye. we don't want to get to it. We talking about Beyonce right now, but go ahead and look at the logo of Sirius Satellite Radio, and you might be surprised. But anyway, getting back to the Dogon people, Mustafa's telling Simba, the great kings of the past look down on us from the stars. Talks about ancient masters of celestial lore. Again, talking about the stars here. Again, the Dogon people are real people. Here we are, give you some perspective. We have Mali, West Africa, above Burkina Faso, land of the upright people, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, also known as the Ivory Coast, is here. Mali, West Africa, is the home of Mansa Musa. Many of us have been introduced to Mansa Musa as of late. His brother Abu Bakari, who my son is named after, Bakari, one destined to be great, sailed over 100 ships to the Americas in the year 1311 and 1312. That information is found in They Came Before Columbus, written by Ivan Van Sertima. Here is a fantastic book. It is called Sundiata, an epic of old Mali, talking about the first kingdom of Mali. Mali's a fantastic place. Again, it's the home of Mansa Musa, the world's richest man. Forbes magazine said the richest man on the planet is from Mali, West Africa, where the Dogon people are from. Again, let's take a look at some Dogon people. Here's where you can find out more information about me and what I do. Black History 365, Black History every single day, black365.com. Again, is where you can check out that. But then here are some Dogon people. Here are the masks of actual Dogon people who dance and sing and demonstrate and manifest the movements of some astronomical occurrences. Many of them live high in the mountains, and they have these elaborate paintings that tell of our people coming from the stars. I'm not sure if I hit that piece yet. The Dogon people have in their tradition that we, African people, people who originally populated this planet, came from the stars. They said we are star people. We are composed, they said long time ago, of the same things that the stars are composed of. Science just sort of began talking about stuff like that, that we as people are composed of the same energy, the same essence, the same elements. Gold is in our body. All sorts of elements and minerals are in our bodies that are found on comets and found on stars. Dogon talked about this hundreds and hundreds of years ago. I've read scholarly works, scholarly journals that say there's no way that these people could have known about this without telescopes, without cylinders and things that can magnify. You had to have glass, and had to have refraction in order to see these things. But no, I've read scholarly works that say that some passing Germans must have told the Dogon of Sirius B sometime, and they just sort of start talking about it. But the rock carvings, the paintings are older than the time that there was ever any Germans that would have traveled in Mali. African people are the mothers and fathers of civilization. The world's first doctors, first lawyers, first politicians, first mathematicians. We were the first to create institutions of higher learning. People came from all over the globe to study our information. And when they returned to their home, they claimed Africa's information as their own. They began stealing African philosophy, African spirituality, and ultimately African people. And here is one example of where African philosophy, African teachings were stolen from the Dogon, but we are reclaiming it. And I appreciate the ode, I appreciate the nod by Beyonce to the Dogon in this piece. She seamlessly interweaved the story of the Lion King, which is the story of Asar, Aset, Haru, or Isis, Osiris, and Horus. Seamlessly interweave these things, dropped in a whole bunch of African spirituality, and entertain us with dramatic visuals, great music, great dancing, all at once. Again, this was a true masterclass that was put on by Beyonce. We're going to, again, uncover some nuggets, shine a light on some things that you may have missed. Mustafa here talks about the great kings of the past look down on us from the stars. Again, ode to the Dogon people. Again, solidifying my point, magnifying my point that they were in heaven in that original scene. We see the boy falling through the heavens, coming to earth. Just remember, those kings will always be up there to guide you. The young man is falling through the heavens, literally breaking into the earth's atmosphere, the ionosphere and all those spheres. He's a toposphere, all those spheres he's breaking through. We see him as a beam of light coming through the macro womb of the universe, through the womb to this planet. Here we see it again on a marathon, have to run my race. For the next several minutes, each and every outfit that we see Beyonce wearing has shimmers, has stars reflecting of the galaxy. This is one of the most powerful images in the whole piece to me. She's showing on earth as it is in the heavens, laying in the dirt, but she's laying in the universe, and she begins dancing. Again, the outfit with the stars, outfit depicting the galaxies, what have you, showing that we are celestial beings. We have the ability to astral project. We have the ability to feel astro energy and what have you. These are all concepts from ancient Egypt and other places and that are being showcased here in this piece. Again, one of the final images of this opening or second stanza, if you will, where she is paying homage to the Dogon and the fact that they have taught us that we are from the stars and we need to find our way back to the heavens. Here, we're transitioning to when Mustafa introduces Simba to Scar. Scar represented in another motif in the Asar Aset Haru piece as Set, or Seth, or Set, the evil brother. Mustafa representing everything that's right and righteous and upright and peaceful and wholesome and good. Sar representing the lower chakras, if you will, the root chakras, the carnal chakras. You see he's represented by red. Red being the, again, the first chakra, representing that lower energy, selfishness, and what have you, is what he represents. This is where he lives. You understand that in the story of the Lion King, Mustafa told Simba not to go certain areas, stay with Pride Rock or what have you, but he ventures out. He, in the film by Beyonce, Black is King, the rhythms, the beats, the drums, the music, he's entranced by it. He's somewhat hypnotized by it. He can't stop his body from moving. You see him moving and grooving, and he goes in to see what is going on, just like an adolescent oftentimes does what they're told not to do. And we see Scar here talking about jealousy. He wants what he wants, and he wants it now. He doesn't lead with his left foot forward. He doesn't let his heart showcase and manifest what needs to be done. He wants the likes on the gram. He wants the fame. He wants the fortune. He is ruled by selfishness. That is what we see in the representation of Scar and representation of Set in the Asar Aset Haru story. Mustafa being the ever-loving father, being the patriarch, being a good brother, a good man, a good father, goes to protect his son. However, the son was in too deep, and because of his actions, Mustafa was slain. We see that represented here in the film. Mustafa was killed in his attempt to rescue Simba, much like in the animated film, The Lion King. From there, we see Scar's true colors come to light. Again, he feels that the throne is his. He wants the fame, the fortune, the likes, the women, the gram to go up. He wants to be the man for himself, for selfish reasons, for internal reasons, just for the feel good. And he banishes Simba. Here we see Beyonce once again. She's not alive. She's not Beyonce in this piece. She is an ancestor or an angel in this piece. I love how we flip the motif as well. Did you know that in several places around the planet, several places in Africa, particularly sub-Saharan Africa, you wear white to funerals and black to weddings? You wear white to funerals and black? Who taught you black was bad? It was people who colonized African people. It was people who attempted to have a colonization of our imagination, where we flipped so many standards, so many motifs, so many established norms, folkways, mores, byways, things that we used to do were flipped on his head during the Holocaust of enslavement, the Ma'afa. Again, black is not bad. Oftentimes we wear white to weddings, white to funerals, black to weddings. Here we see in Black is King, Beyonce says, our ancestors hold us from within our own bodies. Just think about that for 1 second. Ancestor veneration, ancestor acknowledgement is not only our right, but our responsibility. There's nothing wrong, nothing bad, nothing spooky with acknowledging our ancestors, those who lived, struggled, and died to allow us to be who we are and what we are today. There's nothing bad about that. There's nothing wrong about that. Pouring a libation, paying homage, taking a moment to reflect on those who allowed you, again, to be who you are and what you are today is revolutionary, and it's right, and it's necessary. Understand, we are literally, let's take it to a basic physiological level. We are literally cells, DNA of our mother and father, their respective mother and fathers, their respective mother and fathers, their respective, our hair coils the way it coils. Our skin is the way it is because of our direct ancestor. Our ancestors hold us from within, literally enclosed in our skin, under our epidermis, manifested through our epidermis and dermis. Our skin is our ancestor. So you cannot tell me there's anything wrong with acknowledging your ancestors. When acknowledging your ancestors, you are acknowledging the best in yourself. She talks about the connection with as above, so below, past, present, future, all at once here in this image. We see Beyonce. So first, these 6 were carrying a casket. Now Beyonce has taken the place of the casket because she is an ancestor. The body of Mustafa was there, showing that connection, that there is no death. There is simply transition from one phase or one state or one realm to the other. Just like the womb allows a baby to transition to this realm, a coffin, or what we call death, the ceasing of our heartbeats and our breaths, is merely a transition to another space, time, and realm. This is not Jamaal teaching. This is ancient African thought. I'm just breaking it down for you. Do with it what you so desire. That's what's being showcased here. Beyonce, the ancestor, Mustafa, transitioning, went from all white to color, showing that even in death, you are alive in another realm. Again, there's nothing spooky about that. There's nothing crazy about that. Even if you're operating from a Christian paradigm, once you transition, you go on to glory. You live with Jesus. You walk up and down streets paved with gold. You live in another realm. That's all that's being showcased here. Nothing spooky, nothing crazy, nothing too out of this world about that there. Let's move forward. Here is a fun piece. If you're like me, in terms of the original movie, that whole Hakuna Matata piece, you understand that the biggest song, I think that was perhaps the biggest song, right, in the original film, that song was not sung in this movie. However, it was represented and is represented here. You had Simba and Timon, the hog, and the, I think it was the meerkat, there, you're talking about Hakuna Matata, all that stuff. But here, we have the transition again. You got the Dogon people here represented. Anytime you see transition in this film, the Dogon are represented. When the world turns its back on you, you turn your back on the world. Hakuna Matata means no worries. We see Simba now bearing the weight, accosted by the reality that his ignorance, his actions, his selfishness led to his father's death. So he's on his Hakuna Matata tip. He's on, there's no worries. He unable to process and deal with the weight of what his actions helped to bring about, again, the death of his father. He goes into a slumber. He goes into a sleep. He goes into a realm of unconsciousness. Like so many of us, when we don't want to deal with the problems of the world, what do? Man, I need to zone out. I need to get high. I need to get drunk. I need to go to sleep. I cannot deal. I do not want to deal with what's going on. And so we see here, some say Rafiki, some say an ancestor, some say Eshu, for those who might understand what that means. And Beyonce as an ancestor, once again, they speed past the ancestors here, the guides here, on some no worries for the rest of your days. Let's not even trip. Let's not even worry about what's going on. We see him kicking back, not worried about nothing. Again, he goes to sleep and is going through this piece here, Hakuna Matata, no worries. And he begins to dream dreams of grandeur, dreams of luxury, dreams of greatness. And you can see images that perhaps some would say are flipped, of, again, in Black royalty and others as servants. We see here, again, modes and motifs of greatness. The leopard skin has always been a symbol of royalty. Far back as ancient Egypt, here's some ancient nobles in Egypt wearing the leopard skin. West Africa wearing the leopard skin. South or Southern Africa wearing the leopard skin as royals. You always got that one uncle that's doing too much. Here you go right here with leopard skin and the tiger skin and the zebra skin, doing too much right there. Not only in the United States, but that last image and the next image I'm going to show you, next two images that are going to be showcased, are images that come to us from South America. African people are the mothers and fathers of civilization. We circumnavigated the globe long before anyone else. We met ourselves wherever we went around the globe. And then we re-met ourselves on our second and third and fourth and fifth and voyages down the line. And we interchanged and exchanged and dropped off some of our history and culture, some of our spices, some of our foods, some of our language, some of our logic, some of our clothing. And again, you see here in South America, the royals wearing what? The leopard skin. This image comes to us from Mexico. You see the leopard skin on the drum. This here is the first representation, the Twa. You see the leopard skin there. The Twa, or ancient peoples who lived then and live now in the Congo, Tanzania area, in the interior of Africa. The ancient Egyptians say that they came from them. That's a whole nother lecture for a whole nother day. Those images actually come from another lecture that I've done. Again, I've been a keynote speaker for NASA. I've spoken at some of this country's top leading institutions, UCLA. I've spoken at Cal State Northridge, spoken at a number of places. People bring me out, particularly during Black History Month, but I'm here to tell you that you can represent Black 365, Black 365 days. You don't just need February to talk about Black history, you can talk about it all the time. So again, if you are an organization, a club who needs a Black history speaker, please reach out. I'm here, I'm available, info, I-N-F-O, at black365.us. Black365.us is where you can find me at. Let's move forward. One of my favorite natures or manifestations of God or gods or deities, Tahuti. Got a statue of Tahuti right here that I got when I was in Egypt. Here he is right here, Tahuti. This is the god or representation of knowledge, wisdom, understanding. He's represented as an ibis bird. We see him here in ancient Kemet. We see him here in Nigeria, African ibis bird deity. He is thought to have developed writing, developed language, and expanded knowledge through writing in ancient Egypt. We see him make an appearance. Here's an ibis bird right here. So we're still in that Hakuna Matata phase where Simba is asleep. He's unconscious. However, he's constantly being pecked at, constantly being prodded, constantly trying to be shaken awake. So that we see that through the images here. For example, Tahuti. Again, hopefully y'all understand. Y'all let me know in the comments below. Am I reaching or am I teaching? Am I reaching or am I teaching? Is this really what's going on? Am I really saying these things? Am I really on base with my interpretation, or nah, bro, you can type it. My feelings won't be hurt. Say, nah, bro, you was reaching with that. But again, there's an ibis bird, representation of morality, representation of thought, representation of intelligence and enlightenment, looking towards Simba, but he's not reaching out. And some of the language here, I'm finessing like a trap house, a trap bounce. Yeah, some of the things she was doing. She's reading, ironically, she's reading here, but again, you see Simba on his lower chakra stuff, rocking the gold chain, again, thinking about the life of grandeur, during this piece. Here we are, another representation of Tahuti, again, always with a writing instrument, always with a pad. Here in my statue, he doesn't have the writing instrument, but he has the pad where he's writing there. Tahuti, also known as Thoth, excuse me. Want to showcase here, Black is king. We still see the young boy holding the Black king chess piece. Anyway, you are a king. No matter what you're thinking about, no matter what you own, anyway, comma, you are a king. You are a king. I don't care what you think you own. I don't care how unconscious you're trying to be. I don't care how detached from reality you're trying to be, young teenage son, young teenage daughter, young boy, young girl. No matter how you're trying to be of the world, no matter how bad you're trying to be in the world and of the world, no, you are part of the royal family. Anyway, I don't care what you're talking about right now, but understand that you are a king. Anyway, you're a king. No matter, okay, you like to cuss and fuss, you're doing drugs, you're doing alcohol, you're experimenting, trying to get into some alternative things, trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to figure out, trying to detach from who you are and attach to someone else's culture as if that's going to save you. Anyway, you're a king. Tahuti's here. The knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of who you are is here. Whenever you want to come back and meet it, it's right here. You can engage it. You can engulf yourself in. Anyway, you're a king. We see peacocks in and around the scene as well. Peacock also indicative of the Orisha Oshun, the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful story about Olodumare, the supreme deity in the Ifa tradition, who at one point was mad at the Orishas because they was on some other stuff: jealousy, envy, hatred, backbiting, backstabbing, lack of brotherly love, lack of sisterly love. So the supreme deity caused a famine to be, caused a drought to take place in the land. And all the Orishas were trying to reach out, God, I'm sorry. God, I'm not going to do that again. God, please, if you just give me one more chance. But the supreme deity, God, if you will, Olodumare, turned and would not give an ear, would not hear what was being said by the Orishas. So Oshun decided, I'm going to fly up to heaven, fly up to where the supreme deity is at and have a conversation. All the other Orishas sort of clowned her. Oh, girl, you tripping. But they was like, you know what? Ain't nothing else work. This famine is going to starve us to death because we can't have food or water for our crops. So Oshun turned herself into a peacock and flew to the heavens, got terribly scorched by the sun and all messed up, and her feathers were scorched and black. She was bald and ugly. And Olodumare, the supreme deity, was impressed by the fortitude, impressed by the ambition, impressed by the steadfastness, impressed by the vitality of Oshun, that he began to give an ear to the plight of the Orishas and allowed water to take place. I apologize if I'm going over your head. Ifa, or the Yoruba spirituality, is where you can find a number of these stories. I am not initiated into that tradition. I am not too well versed, to be quite honest with you. So much more I need to learn on that particular topic. However, I believe I'm giving justice. Again, in the comments below, those who may have more knowledge on the subject, please feel free to be like, brother, you hit it, but you didn't quite hit it hard enough, or correct me where there may be any mistakes there. Anyway, you are the king, the message there. Here we see Simba. He's still on his Hakuna Matata tip. If you're following along with the script of The Lion King, he's older now. Remember, he was out there for a while, thinking about eating bugs and going and tripping. Beautiful, beautiful scene here. So dope here. We got the candy-plated Flossie hearse. Watch out for them hyenas is the message. This messaging here, again, is for those teenagers. All the trappings, all the things that you think look fresh, associated with death. And sometimes death looks good, so appealing, so attractive. Again, flirting with death on a daily basis, taking penitentiary chances, selling drugs, hustling, trying to get by, fast cars, fast women, fast men, doing ratchet stuff with your friends. Again, you really riding in a candy painted hearse, taking chances that might get you killed, but it looks so fun, looks so appealing. The nightlife, the fast cars, the fast women, the fast scenes, hanging out at the club, being in this place to be, looks so good. Beautiful words here. If you know yourself, you go lost. Interpretation. If you don't know yourself, you go lost. He's having the time of his life. Fast cars, fast women, flirting with death. Again, we got brothers taking penitentiary chances each and every day, unfortunately. Sisters taking penitentiary chances, doing it for the likes, doing it for the gram, knowing that you weren't raised like that, knowing that you were taught and revealed, knowing, and perhaps even not knowing, that your grandmother prayed for you before you were even born, knowing that your grandfather worked day in and day out, knowing that somebody with his bloodline will have a chance to start the race further advanced than he was. But still, you want to spit in their face to live the fast life. Oh man, gives me chills. Your grandmother, your great-grandmother, those ancestors on those plantations, those ancestors on those ships, those ancestors who were in those dungeons, or your ancestors who were forced to go on that migration, knew that one day, year 2020, year 2021, their progeny, their seed, their DNA, their lineage, them seeing themselves again reflected, them, their energy, their essence would be manifest. Understand, people, it's not only your right, but your responsibility to live an upright and righteous life. Put your best foot forward, lead with your heart, be peaceful. Understand that truth, justice, righteousness, truth, justice, balance, harmony, order, propriety are the ways in which we should walk each and every day to live a more beautiful and abundant life. Let me stop and let me go forward. Rafiki said, Rafiki doing all that, I was like, I am confused. Here you see some other spirit guides or ancestors here looking exhausted. Again, putting it in the paradigm of Christianity. We're talking about having our guardian angels. We hear some people say, like, I was wild back in my teens. I was wild back in my 20s. Like, I know that I made my guardian angel tired, trying to look after me, protect me from all the dumb stuff, you know, put me on the curb, writing up my car when I was leaning and what have you. Here, that's kind of represented here. All the guides are looking exhausted here. You don't even know who you are. They sad. I'm not gonna say they're mad, but they're probably mad. They upset. I understand that my ancestors, my guides, perhaps have felt that way a time or two. Like, you don't even know who you are, bruh. You're royalty, 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 royalty. But you out here tripping, you slipping, you falling. Don't make it so that you can't get up. Don't be so far reckless that we can't even help you, bruh. That's what's manifested in this scene here. After Simba's doing all that sipping, all that leaning, all that tripping, he has made his guides tired. That's what's represented there. Moving forward, I like to point out that in the previous scenes, while he was in the car, you have the colors of the royalty, you have colors of purple. Those same colors are represented here in the purple. These brothers here are doing the dance or doing the jump of the Maasai being of Kenya and parts of Tanzania. That's a dance or an activity that shows vitality, that shows strength, that shows determination, that shows steadfastness. When you see the brothers just jumping, looking like they can dunk, looking like the head be above the rim. Be your own king. Make nobody come rule your world. When you falling, when you slipping, when you sipping, when you tripping, people, when you're out of your mind, when you're too high, too drunk, leaning, others can and will rule you. You make yourself open, you make yourself susceptible, you make yourself, again, available for others to come in and rule you. Only when you have a sober mind, only when you have your wits about you, only when you prayed up, only when you are focused. you can ensure, you put yourself in the best position to ensure that you can be your own king and you can make it that nobody come rule your world. But again, I like to point out, I like to tie in that there was purple, again, showing the rewards, if you will, showing royalty while he was sipping and tripping and leaning. But you still have that same purple here again. But as opposed to taking those penitentiary chances for fame and fortune, you can use that same energy, that same vitality that you have, those same 24 hours that you have for hustling and trying to have a come up and do things fast. You can do it the right way. Real estate, commerce, trade, real estate, commerce, trade, the foundations for wealth. You can use that same 24 hours, that same energy, and have those same riches, have that same fame, if that's what you seek in fame, but that same lifestyle that you think you're going to get on the come up with the real quick, slanging rock, slanging dope, selling this, doing that, whatever, selling whatever. You can put that same energy, use some vitality. Again, the Maasai, they're jumping in this scene, right? They're jumping, like the Maasai, showing vitality. You in that same, again, you can have the riches that you so desire, putting your energy, directing your focus in a proper path. That's what I feel is being represented in that piece there. We're almost wrapping up here. We're almost wrapping up. Stay with me. If you like this, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, tell a friend. Again, black365.com. Every single purchase that you make goes towards, a portion of the proceeds go towards scholarships. So we're creeping up towards $100,000. That's right, $100,000 that we've given away as a company over the past 11 years. This year is our 12th year in business. Black365.com. There are a number of products. This year we're coming out with Black History greeting cards, Black greeting cards for so-called the holiday season, or anytime. Black365, you can give a card anytime. The card's going to be written in a way where you can manifest or show your love and appreciation in the form of manifestation of a card. Again, check us out, black365.com. Please support, tell a friend, tell a friend. One of the most powerful lines of this piece, given to us by Beyonce, this master class. I hope at this point you understand that it just wasn't a video. It just wasn't something that was thrown together. Again, I believe my sister Jewel said, and I'm going to steal it, that there were thousands of hours that went into putting this together. But one of the most powerful pieces, one of the most powerful passages comes to us right here. It says, I can't say I believe in God and call myself a child of God, next slide, and then not see myself as a God. I know some people struggle with this piece, but it really shouldn't be any struggle. Again, going back to the Christian paradigm, Luke chapter 17:21 says that the kingdom of heaven is within. We say that in the Christian paradigm that we accept Jesus as our Lord and Savior, and Jesus lives inside of us. So if Jesus lives inside of you, the creator, as they say, according to that paradigm, lives inside of you, then you have no choice but to be that. Manifest that. Again, going back even further, ancient African thought, again, people talked about, like, you are a God, you have the ability to create. The creator created you, and therefore the energy and essence of the creator is in you, so therefore you have the ability to create. You have the power of authoritative utterance. You have the power to speak things into existence, to write things into existence. You have the ability to create, therefore you are a God, is an ancient African thought. And we see Simba coming into that way, coming into that thought. Once he sobers up, gets his mind right, we see him going inside of himself. We see him meditating. We see him reconnecting with his ancestor, his particular father. Similarly, how in the movie The Black Panther, when the sky became all pink and purple, and we see T'Challa seeing his father again, seeing other ancestors. Again, we have the ability to astral project. When we go to sleep at night with a clear mind and a clear conscience, and too many of us go to sleep, the last thing we looked at was Instagram. First thing we looked at is Instagram. Can't wait to see what's happening on the ground tomorrow. We got the phone right next to us, interfering with the waves of our body. Drinking soda right before we go to sleep, eating candy, eating Snickers, eating ice cream and cereal right before we go to sleep. That is inhibiting our ability to project and to, I'm going too deep. Let me not. I'll cut that there. Hit me up and I'll DM me if you want me to continue on that thread. But let's get back to the script. The script tells us that we see Simba right here, reconnecting with his father, again, through prayer, through manifestation, through paying homage, through seeking the wisdom of his father. He understands, he's starting to gain an understanding that he has the ability to create the reality that he wants to see. Perhaps because I am someone's fiance right now, this piece hit me a little bit harder. We have the overture here. Let's connect it back with the story of the Lion King. Nala was out hunting and she happened upon Simba. They reconnect. She tells him how terrible Pride Rock the lands have been. The people are in despair. What was once a bountiful and beautiful and thriving place has now turned into death. All around, hopelessness is all abounds because Scar is ruling from his lower chakra, ruling from a selfish perspective and point of view, not caring about the people, doing it for the gram, doing it for the fast likes or what have you. So everything's all jacked up, everything's turned upside down. Nala is encouraging the brother like, yo, you need to get things right. Taking the story from Asar, Aset, Haru, Isis, Osiris, and Horus, where after Osiris, also known as Asar, was chopped up, his body strewn throughout the land by his evil brother Set. It was the woman, it was Isis or Aset, who reassembled the brother. How many times have we seen this story recreated where a brother's been down, a brother's been out, a brother's been broken, and it takes that woman, that divine feminine energy to put the brother back up, dust him off, get him a haircut, line up his goatee, freshen him up right now, tell him, breathe life into the brother. In the story of Asara Set Haru, she lay atop of him and allowed him to be revitalized, allowed him to create an immaculate conception in the form of Haru, gave the brother one last bit of energy, put the brother back together. We see this story manifested another time in real life when Jean-Jacques Dessalines, the ferocious one, the first emperor of Haiti, 1804, brought Haiti to the step of freedom and allowed Haiti to be the first place on the planet Earth where formerly enslaved people, in this instance Africans, threw off the chains, threw off the manacles of enslavement, and Haiti became the first free, proud, and productive place on the planet of people who were formerly enslaved. Defilé, correct me if I'm wrong, all my Haitians, ça passe, all my French-speaking folks. Again, I believe her name was Defilé. I can't pronounce it exactly right. Coupe tête, boule ka. It was a sister who literally sewn the brother Jean-Jacques Dessalines back together after his body was mutilated. Anyway, let's get back to the script. The script being here, many times it is the woman that reassembles us. It was a line from this movie. Again, Nala breathed life into Simba, encouraged him to go and find himself. Again, he was already on the path back home, back to himself. And she encouraged him to, again, find himself, find love in her, find love in himself, find love in his people, step back on the stage of history, rewrite the wrongs that have been taking place, claim your throne as king, black man. So much imagery, so much iconography, so many interwoven stories. I'm going to take you to ancient Kemet one more time. I see us reflected in the world's most heavenly things. I see us reflected in the world's most heavenly things. This black man, this black woman coming together, just as Geb and Newt, two representations, Newt being the representation of the sky, Geb being the representation, a male representation, Newt being feminine. Again, this ancient Egyptian thought here. You have the sky, you have the earth. You can't have up without down. You can't have east without west. You can't have negative without positive. There's always the duality that must come together in order to have life. Again, I see us reflected in the world's most heavenly things. Again, I think that perhaps is the odd or an ode or a nod rather to the ancient Egyptian thought there. Again, am I reaching, am I teaching? Here, we go into one of the most popular songs, Brown Skin Girl. One of the most powerful bars in the whole film, in my opinion. I know I said that about 5 times, but the whole thing was masterful. Beyonce gave us a master class. We are beauty. Excuse me, we were beauty before they knew what beauty was. Ugh. we were beauty before they knew what beauty was. That's a bar. I said it once, I'll say it again. African people, we are the mothers and fathers of civilization. The world's first doctors, first lawyers, first politicians, first mathematicians, the first to create institutions of higher learning. People came from all around the globe to study our information. It is disastrous. It is erroneous. It is, hell, felonious to think that we simply sat in darkness and waited for someone else to come, kick open the door, turn on the lights, and tell us who we were. No, we had pyramids before other people had texts. We had, as John Henry Clark likes to say, again, books before people even had windows, while others were still living life not as beautiful and bountiful as we were. We were defining ourselves for ourselves. We had our own definitions of beauty, our own standards of wholesomeness and rightness and correctness and exactness, and again, beauty. And it wasn't until others came and changed and rearranged the thoughts that we had that we began to think that Black was bad and our melanin was a sin and all these other things. We were beauty before they knew what beauty was. That's a bar, Beyonce. I got to give you some love on that one. From here, we go into Brown Skin Girl. As I mentioned, we see a number of beautiful hairstyles. These are ancient African hairstyles that we see in this piece that were worn hundreds, if not thousands of years ago, still worn to this day. There was a thought in parts of Africa that the higher your hair was, the closer you were to God. The higher your hair was, the longer your hair was, the closer, the more connected you were, the more spiritual you were, the more disciplined you were, the more focused you were, the more beautiful you were, the more connected to the stars, the heavens, the creator you were. And just think about the paradigm shift. Others who cannot have their hair stand tell you that your hair standing is bad, is ugly, is nappy, is not right. You need it dyed, fried, laid to the side. I'm not trying to talk about nothing or nobody. I'm just trying to reach and teach. Again, going back to the script, Beyonce showcasing a number of hairstyles. Again, these are ancient African styles that have been worn for hundreds, if not thousands of years in all parts of Africa, particularly West Africa here. We see the styles reaching towards the heavens. Here we see Brown Skin Girl. Take note during this section, all the beautiful hues that you see. Beyonce giving an ode or a nod to her good friend Kelly here. She's brown skin. You had Naomi Campbell in there, brown skin. You had another model, I don't know her name, the short hairstyle with beautiful skin. We also see the updos. I think that in our ancestral genetic memory bank, we see the updos of the South and other parts of the country. I think that we perhaps are paying, without even knowing it consciously, but subconsciously, paying homage or, again, giving a nod to our ancestors and our updos that are reaching the sky. But you see examples of the debutante balls taking place at this point in the piece. Black is King. That is very well known in the American South and other places. The debut of young women into womanhood or what have you. The debutante, excuse me, taking place there. Going on there. We're almost wrapping up. Again, we transition back to the scene of the Black man and Black woman connecting. Oh, you are the remedy. Don't know what's inside. Again, messages, affirmations, confirmations, big ups, props to one another. Once again, let's take it back. We see the leopard skin of the royalty there. Again, they're giving homage and giving props to one another. You're the key to the kingdom. The songs and the words that are being said at this part, understand that you are what it takes. We are enough. And the Black man, the Black woman, and the Black family gets their gets on one accord, on the same wavelength. There's nothing that cannot be unlocked. No chain that cannot go unbroken. No chain, no door that cannot be unlocked. You are the key to the kingdom. That is the message. Don't be mad at me. I didn't say it. Beyonce said it. Here we see the sister right here. From what I understand, this sister's an actress who transitioned. She passed away. She died or transitioned July 4th of this year, from what I'm told. Without a shadow of a doubt, she comes from the San people, S-A-N. You can Google that, S-A-N people. Some say that they are the longest existing people on the planet Earth. They reside in places like the northern part of South Africa, Namibia, Angola, Namibia primarily, and again, another part of South Africa. The San people, S-A-N people. Go ahead and put that in the Google search. Without a doubt, you will see these flat face, high cheekbones, slanted eye people. Again, we are the mothers and fathers of civilization. You could take black and get anything else on the planet. So when people say, oh, you got slanted eyes or high cheekbones, you must be Indian, you must be Asian, you must be something. Nah, a lot of times we just African mixed with more African, black mixed with more black. And again, you can take black and get any other shade, hue, color in the universe. You can't do that with other colors. But we see this sister right here, a San woman, understanding and recognizing and connecting with the fact that she recognizes through this fetish or this piece here that was given to Simba by his father a long time ago, that he is of royal lineage, of royal blood, he got royalty, he should be ascending to the throne. So like a good elder, she does what she's supposed to do. Once again, we see her giving affirmation, giving confirmation. The last time we saw Simba with the scarification or the marking, not scarification, but the markings on his face, he was about to make a transition from the heavens to the macro room to the micro room to this planet. We see him here about to make another transition. We go through several transformations throughout our life. And so that's why it's so important to have rites of passage, so important to have elders, wise ones around us to guide us and put us on the right path and teach us and then make us more wise and make us more emboldened, give us the nurturing that we need in order to succeed. We see brothers get several names throughout their life. You might be man when you're born, then you Ray, then you Big Ray, then you OG Ray, or whatever the case. Again, we get new names as we get new levels in our life. Here we see the brother going to yet another level, transcending. I love Malcolm X because of the transformations that he went through in his life. I'm getting off topic a little bit, but hopefully there's a bar or nugget in here that you can pull out. We see Malcolm X went from Malcolm Little to Detroit Red to Malcolm X to Brother Omawale. He said of all his names, the name that he loved and appreciated the most was Omawale. The one who has returned, loosely translated. Google Malcolm X, fantastic brother. If you like this presentation, please drop a like, subscribe, consider making a donation. If you are using PayPal, you can do paypal.me/Black365 Calendar. If you're using Cash App, it's $ Black365 Calendar. Or if you want to buy something, again, understand that each and every purchase is a contribution towards the scholarship. We're nearing $100,000 that we've given to young people. Buy a product. Again, we got Black History calendars that highlight event Black History every single day. We have Black History cards. We have 2 packs. We have more packs coming. We got Black History greeting cards coming on the way as well. Again, my name is Jamaal Brown, aka Mr. Black365, aka Professor Jamaal on all social media platforms. Talking about transitions, talking about the transition he is about to make. We see him here transforming, transcending. To God we return. The elder, again, has given the brother the power, the vitality, the direction. She's spoken life into the brother, and now he is off to fulfill his destiny. And what is that? Understanding is from the divine archetype. He's going to do something he needs to do, that be regain the throne, capture the crown, lead, instruct, guide his people. I'm not exactly sure what this scene is about, but it reminds me of something. I was told a story, a firsthand story. I was told a story of a brother who experienced something firsthand. He talked about, he's from West Africa. He talked about the final stage of his rites of passage was that he and a number of other brothers were placed inside of a hut with leaves all around it, and that they had to circle inside the hut. It was very tight, very cramped, and there were hot rocks, and people were pouring water on the rocks and causing hot steam to emerge in the hut. And they had to circle a particular number of times, and they were chanting and affirming. Then they all were told to be still, and then the hut was kind of caught on fire, and they had to use brotherhood and ingenuity and use one another to escape the burning hut. And all the brothers made it out, and that was the final step of his rites of passage. Fire, like water, is a cleansing element. Here, I don't know if it pays homage to that or not. Again, this ain't a reach. I'm just telling you a story and saying that it may or may not be connected with this. But we see here this language here while we are around the hut. You were formed by the heat of the galaxy. Was a message that was portrayed in the film at that point. Again, the brother told me that firsthand story of his rites of passage. But we'll move forward. So, what did the elder empower? What did Nala empower? What did his journey? What did every lesson that the brother learned his whole life up to this point lead him to? The next moment. Each and every one of us, all we have is the present moment, which is connected to the past moment, which is connected to the next moment, but we only have the present. So make sure your move right now is setting up your next move to be your next move. And so what I'm trying to say was he was being empowered, still being empowered right now, encouraged, affirmed, confirmed by Nala. Your reign is over, Scar. You always got that sister. Yeah, my man is about to. Got sisters always being a mouthpiece for brothers. We got Nala right here letting Scar know that his reign is over. Your reign is over, Scar. She knows that her man has been through some things. He's tried, he's tested, he's emboldened, he's empowered, he's ready to take back the throne, capture the crown. Scar, your reign is over. So next we see this image here. Are you with me, lions? With something that was said. You may remember the Dora Milaje from the Black Panther. Dora Milaje was not real because Black Panther wasn't real. However, what is real was the Dahomey women. They mistakenly were called the Amazon women, women from West Africa who were bad sisters. Sisters who were skilled with the hand-to-hand combat, sisters that were skilled with the bow, sisters that were skilled with the staffs, sisters that were skilled with bows and arrows and what have you. We had in Africa the first place where women rode the head of a military in ancient Egypt. We have the Kandakis or the Candaces of Nubia, which was southern or present-day southern Egypt, northern Ethiopia, parts of Sudan, were the Candaces. Put that word in your Google search when you're done with this. C-A-N-D-A-C-E, Candace or Kandake, queens or warriors, which were women who were warriors. We have the Dahomey women who were warriors. Again, sisters aren't just some prissy little beautiful things that go and sit down. Nah, sisters can and do ride. Understand that. Don't get it mistaken. So you see here those powerful sisters having the brothers back, much like in the Lion King, where Nala and the other sisters were cheering. Other lions, I call them sisters. Other lions were cheering on Simba as he engaged in his battle. Here we are, another scene. This scene, I don't have the images here, but it was filled with women. You had the sister that was with child. You had a woman who's in real life over 80 years old, who's a bodybuilder and a workout artist. You had young sisters, you had old sisters, all showing tremendous vitality, showing strength, and again, preparing the brother, giving him the energy. Sisters, you just don't know. I don't think y'all really know how powerful you all are, how much your word, how much your look, how much your affirmation, confirmation, how much, again, just having the brother's back, rubbing the brother's shoulders and saying, baby's gonna be okay. Gassing us up, putting a battery in our back. Sisters can lead a brother to his greatest manifestation or his darkest time, just with a word, just with a look. Anyway, I'm getting off subject, but let's stay on. They'll never take my power, my power. They'll never take my power, my power, my power. This was chanted time and time again in this piece. Again, the sisters were using their divine feminine energy to gas up, to charge up the battery in the back of Simba at this point for him to go forward and reach his ultimate destiny. Here we see him enthralled, entangled in an epic battle. But it's interesting here. You don't actually see him battling with Scar. You see two men on initial gaze to be of the same or similar build, same or similar age as well. What I think was being demonstrated or displayed here at this point was or is the battle that we all face, the battle inside of ourselves, our higher or divine state mastering our lower state. You see the red, you see the blue, you see the contrasting colors, the contrasting dispositions, but they're both connected. They're both the same age here. And so really that battle with Scar really is the ultimate test, or the battle that we have with ourselves, perhaps being manifested here. Each and every one of us has a daily struggle, just like Horam or Horus on the Rise, or known as a so-called Sphinx. A Sphinx is a woman that has breasts. The so-called, that's why I always say the so-called Sphinx. The ancient Egyptians, ancient Kemetic folk called it Horam Akhet. You see the man's head over the lion's body, signifying that the man has dominion over his lower beastly, lower carnal state. It is your responsibility to not always give in to every urge, not always give in to every desire, not give in to every whim, but have discipline, patience, focus. Daily slay your dragon, daily slay the beast, daily slay the cardinal urges that are inside you. When it's time, let those urges manifest and do what you need to do. We must use the energies that we have at different times. Set and Haru, Set and Asar live inside of us. We have aspects of Scar, we have aspects of Mustafa, we have aspects of Sar, we have aspects of Simba inside of us, but you must kill or lower one when the time is right and allow the other to rise. But that's what I believe is taking place here, because he's not actually fighting Scar, he's fighting another equally aged brother here, which perhaps is again signifying the fight that we have inside of ourselves each and every day as we attempt to live our best lives. Our best lives not meaning reckless lives, but our best lives, our true, right, righteous, best life, our utmost and upright life, representing propriety, truth, justice, balance, harmony, order, propriety, reciprocity. The 7 cardinal virtues of Ma'at must be manifested. Hopefully I'm not talking too fast, hopefully not going over your head. We're wrapping it up right now with these final slides. As I mentioned before, some powerful words from Beyoncé. She talked about the Orishas, the spirit guides, the deities, the manifestation of gods. Hold your hand through this journey that began before you were born. Again, confirming or affirming the part that I spoke of in the very, very beginning, that the opening scene, Beyoncé and the children were in heaven. She tells us here in this piece here, before you were born, before you were brought to this realm, this plane, you were with God, preparing you. That's why when I pour my libations, my final libation, every libation I've ever have done in the most recent past and whatever will do, pour my final libation, I pay my final homage to those unborn ancestors, to those children who exist in the macro womb and in the micro womb of their mothers. It's important that we honor those soon-to-be energies and essences and ancestors who are unborn, who are traveling back, who are meeting us again, who are coming to this realm of existence, who are coming to this plane. It's not only our right, but our responsibility to pay homage to our unborn ancestors and allow their lives, their energy, their essence to serve as a reminder to us to live each and every day to the fullest. I'm not talking about turn up each and every day. I'm saying live each day as a free, proud, and productive person. Write that song that has been unwritten. Sing that song that is being unsung. Write that poem, dance that dance, create that invention. Not every creation in the world has been invented. The world still needs answers, particularly in this time that we live in right now. We know that answers are necessary. Understand that the answers and the keys and the direction and the providers of what is necessary are in us and around us. We have existed as African people from before time, and we've been able to exist because of our families, because of our ingenuity, because of our dedication, because of our ability to problem solve, because of our dedication to our crafts, because of our ancestors, because of the Creator, we have been able to provide answers to the world, give beauty to the world. And again, it's not only our right, but our responsibility to pay homage to our unborn ancestors. And the best way to do that is live an upright and righteous life, create a more beautiful and bountiful and productive place here on earth that they can inherit. I'll stop right there. I feel I'm getting too deep. I'm getting a little chills myself right now. Hopefully you're feeling me. Hopefully this has been worth your while. Again, my name is Jamaal Brown, aka Mr. Black365, founder and creator of the Black365 Calendar, found at black365.com. We have a whole host of culturally relevant products. Black365 Calendar highlights event Black history every single day. We have 2 sets of Black history cards, coming out with 2 more sets this quarter, coming out with some African-American Black greeting cards as well. We're not done. We've got a couple more slides here, just a few as we wrap up. But please support Black365.com. When you support Black365.com, you support yourself, you support the community, you support scholarships. Beyoncé, in this piece, it is said, we never forget to say thank you to the ancestors. And that is my presentation. Again, thank you so much for rocking with me. Thank you so much for indulging me. Please, I encourage discussion in the comments below. Like what you agreed with, write what you disagreed with, write the perspective or understanding that you have that perhaps I didn't hit on. Please share, please tell a friend. Again, black365.com. When you support Black365.com, you support yourself. Again, you support the community. Scholarships is what we do. Black history is what we do. Black365. Again, my name is Jamaal Brown. I'm available for presentations, workshops, keynotes, and what have you. Hopefully you enjoyed what you heard. Again, let's keep the dialogue going. I look forward to the next piece, not necessarily produced by Beyoncé, but produced by you. We all have cameras. We all have ingenuity inside of us. Let's create the world. Let's create the images. Let's create the materials that we want to consume that puts us in a beautiful light. Again, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you. Peace.